Hi, this is Lisa Guthrie. I'm at 10507 North, Seattle, Washington, 98105, 13. I was thinking of something else. And I'm in Unit 329, and I just wanted to say there have been quite a few threats here, and I'm going to take you around bum walking by talking about blah, 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 whole house. So bum was probably talking to me. And he's talking in gang code. He's full house. So by the way, I want to show you that you will hear people that aren't supposed to even be heard. So against this wall, there's a crawl space. And I just heard someone playing Linda. There's not supposed to be anybody that there's nothing in here that's has gang members about in my apartment while I'm not here, and they touch things. They also, the Satanists and their gang members, spread disease and filth. They like touching their own urine, their own fecal, their own semen. By the way, there's a transgender here from Elizabeth, possibly, and she just rape and AIDS. So I'm going to call Elizabeth Gray. We put them around women, but they're still threatening to rape people. At least 3 to, that's an unusual, that's probably a high number anyway. So I'd say it's probably more. And there's one, I think, that actually can't control them, even though he goes women's services. One woman was actually crying because of him. And so that transgender threatening me with AIDS really opened up a big can of worms. The transgender has heterosexual relationships with women. He actually, he was for some other reason, so women are safe from him at least. Now here's the janitor's room. The janitor's room has repeatedly been used by indigents. You can actually street indigents and also people who having a bathroom light. Like 3 years, they were broke apart. And then they tried to fix them twice. They were too busy knocking over stuff, I guess. And there's nothing to knock over, really. Crucifixes. Excuse me. So, there's whores in the walls. There are whores and bums that you will hear. And then you'll hear retarded black Nazis. And when I didn't have CameraFi on this week, boy, did they take advantage of it. And these are black Nazi morons and a lot of whites that are on. And I always tell why. Now, I might not talk the whole time because I sort of want to make some coffee or do something. Now, I can't use my kitchen. The water is filthy. These bums dump urine and fecal, and you just heard somebody. They're camped out behind and in the janitor's room. And you heard a whore. That wasn't me. It sounded like sort of an indrawn breath. It's a whore. So that's not fecal in the sink. I think that's jam or something I spilled. But let me show you something. Oh, it's not unlocked yet. I actually have things that have rusted hideously. Why? Because the water is so bad. And the Seattle Police Department's in on it. They have an Officer Bobby, and they have an officer who ruined my life starting 13 years ago. I complained about a meth lab, and so basically cleared the way so every member could target me, do anything they wanted, and then the cops had it cooked up that they would just think I was crazy. So that meant illegal surveillance, which is often in a fire department's equipment. And I'm told that 2 black Nazis actually are involved, which isn't a surprise. They're trying to actually take over the world. And there's fire department equipment in this crawl space area, because if I walk around the hall where there shouldn't be any voices, we're not going to see people. people running. No. So if there's a break-in, which also the crawl space stretches around the closet, it's not ghosts, I just saw one, but there aren't ghosts that are doing this. So you've got the fire department equipment right here. And Officer Bobby of the West Precinct involved with break-ins where they trap door that people are insane. He's a gang member. He's a blood. There's somebody mouthing off in the janitor's room that's empty. Saying blah, blah, blah like you won't believe. It's a high-voice security guard and he's a black Nazi. He's from the Pike Place Market. It's called Pike Place Market Preservation and Development Authority. And all the security guards at Pike Place are bums, and there are at least 2 black Nazis and at least 3 here. And, there's more than that involved that covered up for them. The fat ass from Tricourt, he's now kind of an old, 50 maybe. And then you, fat more, 3 years ago. So, was gang raped. The bums portrayed me as a prostitute. They probably stuck me with a needle. But then 3 years ago, almost, a fat-ass cop that comes here from the Seattle Police Department North Precinct, I believe, he tried to arrest a prostitute, and Officer Bobby beat me up because I wouldn't be a prostitute at the Pike Place Market at the LaSalle Apartments. It's called LaSalle. So there should be no voice there. But the Seattle Police Department is specializing in mysterious entrances and exits. And then often what they've done, because they will portray they are God or the devil coming up through the floor. Angel. And so, actually, with the trapdoor theory that you think sounds crazy, I've dispelled many of those government themes. The conspiracy theory about the alien? No. I can just tell you that all they do, and see the Seattle Police Department and the gang members, well, see, first of all, gang members love any kind of law enforcement, any kind of military. They love medical. They love construction. They love law enforcement. Why? They can pull off crimes, including kidnappings, very easily. Now, the floorboard, that's why they would love construction people. I happen to believe that my own brother-in-law, Larry Blackmer, is involved. He's a blood, so that makes sense. So is my brother, Michael Tudhope. They're actually, he's half-brother. I only have a half-brother and a half-sister. Larry Blackmer is married to Dawn Blackmer. They had Blackmer Construction. I believe that people in the Bloods that are janitors work with other people in regard to creating secret entrances and exits and places to secrete people or animals or things all the time. And if you look at Viral Nova, that's actually an interesting site. They have come up with secret rooms, and I always say, I already knew about that. And there are people, again, at Elizabeth Gregory, which is located at 1604 Northeast 50th Street, by the way. And it's like a shelter for women. And I mentioned one of the black females was here thinking, Oh, I'll just line up in the room and terrorize Lisa. She looks like a big Bigfoot. That's redundant, but she looks like a Bigfoot. She's not attractive. It's kind of like a cross between Bigfoot and a black Kathy Bates. So her mother was Kathy Bates, her father was Bigfoot. So they thought they were big deals, and when I didn't have the camera on, you know, they thought they'd be breaking through. And these bums all like to portray that you or me owe the money, even if you're in another country. Do you owe the money? No, these are bums of the world. And in many cases, it's the parasites that have sat 12 generations on welfare, or as many generations as there have been welfare, they've sat on welfare since they've come to this country, and they're racist, Nazis, etc., and they're portraying themselves as the government. They actually, and by the way, many of them, just like Hitler, they're anti-Semitic. And there are occasional Jews, but like one Jew that I knew that joined these people probably 13 years ago, Benjamin Davis Wood. He hates twins, and he referred to himself as a glistener, psychotic, that he'll think Jewish people, it's your typical gang member, they're psychotic. He thinks that it's retarded, like the rest of the person had blonde hair and blue eyes. So he's, even say, well, he's Jewish, that shows you they're not Nazis. Hello? He doesn't like blonde-haired, blue-eyed in Jews, and he doesn't like people that are not in England, Scotland, Ireland, all week long. Now, if you come to this broadcast and you say, well, why didn't you have CameraFi on, you scum? Well, I didn't have CameraFi on because I have an odd-fitting USB for my phone. It's a great phone, but the USB, and I threw it away, it's like a C USB mill, but it says A well. And they're getting more and more popular. And I was told that some of the devices, they do want their own USB. And I guess that makes sense because, under warranty, then if you make a cheesy, crappy thing from the dollar store and blow up your computer or your phone, then you can't get the warranty, can you? There's a whore, it's a mentally ill, retarded hooker, and she room snapping her fingers and making. You are a mentally retarded bitch. You're going to shut your fucking yap. Going to vote down black Nazis or other scum. You disgusting harlot. She was actually snapping her fingers. That gives you the mentality of most black Nazis and other crap. I think it's one of the black prostitutes. I think it's a black Nazi reject that goes around screaming. She's psychotic. It's ugly, retarded, disturbed, like all black Nazis. You might say, well, they're not black. They'd be black. Actually, Bloods and Zetas. Why? It's a money trail. And so, like in this building, they have a to kill most on earth and live as them. I'm not clapping happily, by the way. I'm just saying that's the place. And up to 3,000 now, I think. 3,000. If I said 1,000, well, I thought it was first 300. Then I thought it was, then I heard 3,000. And these bombs were actually themselves militia. And they were people who will obey our militia. You will obey, and they're pretending everybody. Relationship is a stick at the door. They never. My brother-in-law, Blackmore, he's a nasty piece of work, and my sister, Dawn Blackmore, is a nasty piece of work, and they are bloods. And the reason when there's a whore chanting about money, they're actually what started the. There was an acrimonious split between my brother-in-law and my sister and my brother and I, because my brother, he's like a sheep. He'll always go with what my sister and to me. And they wanted to lie about a house so they could get $14,000 more and just include. He would be involved, but also they're well off. Well, some standards. It's just upper middle, actually, if you count, wealth. And they're for $1 million. So they're ERP as a tax break, tax. So if Larry Blackmer and my brother Ted donated some material, time, of course they and look so beautiful, and then they could do a lot of the bloods do. And Asian gangs, they just commit crimes, even under the guise of philanthropy. Oh, they were also trying to induct me into crime. One of them just said something about couriers. So they, the Bloods and the Zetas in Washington, this is 105 Aurora Avenue, North Seattle, Washington, 98133. It's a high crime area. The bums that are the security guards in the Seattle Police Department, they're in on trying to force people into being couriers. Now, we see the dirty cops unless they're actually working at as a security guard, as was the creep from Tri-Court ago. You won't see the security guards sneaking in unless they're actually and see, the police are not legally here that come here, and neither are the security guards all. They're not legally here. So let's say a security guard broke in. You have to home invasion. Security guard attacks you in the hall. You do what you have to do. Assault. So, but if a police, I come home and there's a policeman in here, we might not have his policeman uniform with a costume on. I'm not going to know it's he. I don't. And so they'll covertly skulk around. So where do I get my information? A, by what happens to me. B, by the taunts and threats of the gang members. Actually, that's first. Taunts and threats, and then what happens, well, it can trade off. Like my hands, the weekend they were bragging about how I'd be white and bleached. Indeed, my hand. Hi, this is Lisa Guthrie. I'm at 10507 Aurora Avenue, North Seattle, Washington, 98133. I'm telling you who's on premise and who's been threatening me. So I've got, and I'm at 10507 Aurora Avenue, North Seattle, Washington, 98133. And so the police that are here legally, why? So I don't have a policeman that's a security guard. So any policeman coming to my door, what am I doing? Well, I was cleaning, and I'm drinking some tea on my my vitamin water, and I'm writing in my journal. So policeman, it's Nazi plot to it. It's also that redundant of the tri-court policeman and Officer Bobby, basically portraying me as a criminal for 13 years, and alternately for scientists, and also filth, and in her food, and let's maim her. Also, let's have everybody sprinkle her with glass and portray that it's a legal investigation. And they're heavily involved with the black schemes against other states. Policemen 10 years ago, bums tried to portray me as a prostitute from that day forward. I can hear them because, my voice carries and the windows open. But this is beautiful. I'm so thankful I have CameraFi back on. There's a horror. Excuse me, I have to curse them. Eating some yogurt. The flavor is quite good. But it's liquid. It's like liquid. I had actually left it here, which is a gamble. Oh, and by the way, the bums here have been not only throwing down filth and poisons in the water, it's actual diseases. Would you like to hear some of the diseases they boast about as well? It's let's see, Ebola, smallpox. You think, what? And they've also dumped poisons and radiation. You know what could happen? You could come up with a super bug that's resistant when you start dumping radiation and other and diseases. These are the gang members love anyone like Guthrie, fake and real. They love military, fake and real. They love all these people who can do things for them and teach them dirty tricks. Even business. But they love medical, fake and real. Why? They can impart in the snuff movies. In my case, it's been 13 years of snuff movies on me. Missing Europeans, buried people alive, dreaming about people buried alive the other night with coffins and little apparati, where it looked like some sort of tube and then an air sac. And at first I thought it was something to keep the smell out. I wasn't sure what it was. I thought it was an apparatus to keep smells out. It's a plan, and it's linked to black Nazis. It's linking with Officer Bobby of the West Precinct. And I'm going to tell you something. It's also linking with the tri-court guy and the security guards. Because I wouldn't be a prostitute here. And this is a big prostitute strip. Big area of prostitution, rather. And so the coffin, it looks like coffins with a tube, with it all like rubber. And he's playing stolen. A lot of the people, when you tell ideas, are a ass black Nazi maggot in his room chanting. Could be a cop. Might be one of the dirty cops. It's hard to tell. So a lot of, they're just hanging out with the dirty cop. So it's not an investigation. Fecal, menstrual, me for 13 years. Now, in 13 years, I can't say it was every day that somebody was in my crawl space place, but like at Tri-Court Apartments, by the way, the shits is trying to act events in a wall. They're Satan's shit asses. Excuse me, I get angry. And he's chanting, devil, yap, yap. Devil, yap, 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 yap. Was playing the largest part of you. Oh. Mm. You're on. It gets confused. Like all themselves. And you've got security guards that call themselves cops. Not. They have no jurisdiction and they have no rights as cops. They call the cops. Then you've got dirty cops come here. So one of them is happening and he's playing torture them, blah, blah, blah. So which windows are open? So I think second floor. I think he's second floor. In here, I can't have anything in here because for 13 years, what they do, they'll give out your keys to thousands of people. And even if you could trust those 3,000 people, which you can't, you know that your disease propensity increases. Why? Well, they're humans. Touching your stuff, 3,000 of them? I'd rather have, a rat or something, which there is a rat here, actually. But 3,000, even 10 filthy people like this, they can't even change their pants when they wet, make, other acts in them. And so in on this playing with their own fecal, ejaculate, or even their friends ejaculate and fecal, they'll ejaculate in so they can dump it in people's laundry. By the way, I can't touch it. I have to isolate it like before I leave because they've dumped glass. I've got glass scratches on me. And what the Seattle Police Department did is that and one of the bums is playing roomie. The retards here, it's illegal, of course, but are trying to force me into having a, quote, roommate. A black Nazi retard. The security guard thinks he'll come in and collect rent payments or have you on screwing people to satisfy his twisted sense of revenge against whites and also to make a few bucks. You're gonna shut the fuck up, you shit-ass bitch. I'm not. Oh, the security guard, I'm going to. Then I'll call my. I don't have one bit of respect for psychotic security guard just because psychotic people liked the little bit. And to guards, every black Nazi is a mongoloid. And so what they'll try to do is falsify mongoloids or some of the other. And what are they? Oh, and a horse species dominates new mongoloid. You're being discovered. You're mongoloids. We're playing Get Her Out. I'll call the AF and I'll show you who gets it, including fake cops, real cops, security. Sorry, shit ass whore, I forgot to. So typically, now I hear a siren. Excuse me, if I hadn't come these idiots talked about it, that siren is for a victim and induct you, Officer Bobby's on that kind of stuff. Other dirty cops like the thing from court, and then the fat ass that tried to arrest. Bitch, you can talk town. Yes. You're just as shit as any species. You're ugly, all of you. All the black Nazis. You're the most disgusting thing ever. Absolute gross. So, it is a racist move to take over every race because they just care about money and property. You're ruling them. Brains to rule everyone. Now, 30 years ago, whether you believe it or not, the U.S. fell with. And there's a bum plane. We hired army men. Good. They're going to get shot by ATF if they come in. You fucking ugly. By ATF. This is Saturday. Army men. So they might need to be shot by the police should they try a hostage situation, which they threatened all week. So they could very well need to be shot. Live action. Hey, if they have to. So, I'm going to call the police on you, you fucking retard. So we go through the same shit every day, and we're talking about mongoloids. Evidently, they're so retarded, they can't remember. I told him yesterday I'll call the police. I told him 6 times the day before. I told him 20 times the day before that. But Mongoloid doesn't know still that I'm going to call the police. Even Mongoloid security guard that was hired. He would have been locked up 30 years ago if he'd been white. Mongoloids. Taxes in the U.S. Tired of Mongoloids. If you're a drunk or a druggie like these other Mongoloids, they'll pretend you're not crazy. And if you're black, that's it. Well, obviously black Nazi, you're all. But if you're drunk and druggie, they'll hide everything for you. Just shut up and crawl away. Just shut up. Shut up. You're you're retarded. And so the black Nazis and the other shit will try to force women into relationships. Does it sound like I want an ugly black Nazi turd bag? Or one of the other Mongoloids? So the thing needs to be put away. He's chanting, "You will obey Linda." The gang members like to play different words like Linda, Glenda. Oh, they threaten me to inject me with heroin too, by the way. Constantly. So the cops are in on that, by the way. I'll have to buy another stick for the door. This one's broken and hanging by a thread. Shut up, you fucking bitch. You should have seen the retards. They had people following me. See, what they've done too the last 13 years is that they've advertised me. Oh, and I forgot, there was an ugly whore. She used the, there's at Grinwood, there is a, she's a black Nazi, and she used the BCTU or something, BCU, there'd be a picture. And so she said, "You will be raped tonight." I think that's an ugly big black Nazi bastard, and he looked like basically he was trying to get my groceries. Gets his groceries, don't we? Then there was a reject, all a white guy in line. He was not paying their bill and acid. He was with an Hispanic, or she was much shorter and she had dark hair. Then there were a couple others. I tried to rearrange my bags and wet and it just wasn't making sense on how. So, or she was having the sheriff department. They're all retarded and they are zombies. They died 13 years ago. Program. Their garbage grasp onto others' minds. And really, years ago. As many people down as possible. And there's nothing to take down in the U.S. now. If you had them all arrested or committed, there's nobody here. They're garbage. They're playing penance. The retards playing penance. So the dirty black Nazis, after sucking up 80 years of work, they all play penance. Typical greedy mongoloid black Nazi. And pretend he can take away checks and money orders. Or not money orders, but I mean he can grab on to things. The Nazis and the other scumbags here, actually, and they did this at the La Sala Prince, they'll actually portray that you owe, even if you're walking around with the rent receipt in your hand, according to the black Nazis and the other, excuse my language, you owe money. So the black Nazis are one of their game. What? Business else? Government, fake and real. What are they going to do with it sometimes? Well, they're going to buy everything. Whatever gets the money falsified. Including now a couple of these black Nazis, they're connected to 2 funeral homes, black Nazi homes that will bury people without a death certificate. Now, what else are they connected to? They will absolutely change names to give them their money. Go live on the street so they can check and put some whore or bum in court that poses as you. This is more common, and they even offer your dog $10,000 or more trip to Europe. How? It's business, cost even. You get a series of moldy. It's raining here. Oh, I don't need to go around wasting it. Connecting to Bonnie Watson Funeral Home. So apparently Bonnie Watson, big one. I think it was on the hill, Capitol Hill. It's quite large, and I think that's also Bonnie Watson is quite well. You are already. You're not dominate anybody, you shit ass bitch. I'll have you shot if you come in here, and that's the end of it. Does that no? But you've seen the shit asses waiting around guns. What can happen? One of their white. Try to dominate me, you ugly from prison to shit. You're an ugly dog shit. You're not. Hi, this is Lisa Guthrie at 10507 Aurora Avenue North. And their blood's here, but they'll threaten you, including to false. Is what I was telling you. He has no power, but he's telling that. Would you like that? Oh, by the way, like a Tim Burton movie reject. You're not, you stupid ass retardo, or bodies of I'm telling you, a lot of people, black Nazis. How did this happen? Well, the devil knew that the inferiors, including ugly white trash that were crack whores or dirty, smelly black Nazis, the devil knew that those people would jealously destroy everyone in the 80s. They knew. Why do I say they? And they weren't racist. They were treated by black Nazis. The so-called racism by others toward others and black Nazis. Nazis started ever. And the dirty cops. They can turn around working with them that are cops, and then that person's labeled as a racist, and a bum in the janitor's room, a Nazi. Smelly, ugly, reject, retard friends. And that's who wants to take over your world. Ugly, smelly, deficient, inferior shit asses. And they want you to answer to them. They want apps, and they're not saying they're not bright enough. Their plan is to eat everyone, such as the bees. That's a smelly Nazi. That's who you have pulling the strings in America. They're all criminals, and by the black Nazis think it's okay, the Zetas are. And Asian street gang members. And I even had black Nazis tell me, and they even meant animals. They don't even care if it's a cat or a dog. So some of your biggest group of hypocrites are the black Nazis and the scum who light-hearted generations. So you like being on CameraFi? You're going to be on. If you cook up, any reason to come to the door, you're going to be on CameraFi. And Tim Burton reached downstairs. They have time in the wall. She touched her vagina and stuck it in the water. Lewd people. We are talking base people. Actually told me, or their favorite activities of some of the scum here, the friends like Nazi rejects, they like to So I think I'm going to get off. I'm going to make a phone call. And I'm going to tell a certain transgender that threatened me. So I'll be back. And remember, he's a man. I guess he can't have them that I've heard that come here. They've threatened rape. That's at least 3, isn't it? And then there's another whore who goes to Elizabeth Gregory. I'll be back.